Alright, welcome in everybody. This is A Programmer Plays Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, Episode 1. Full disclosure, I have not played this game, but I have seen some playthroughs of it. I've got my buddy Beardville's played this game. I've watched a few Let's Plays on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm getting just absolutely deafened right now. Let's see how that is. Honestly, the game seems maybe a little bit loud, but I think it might have some ducking. Yeah, so, okay, that's interesting. So, immediate technical note. The help and options, the volume drops down. Which makes sense, like, in a, like, hey, I need to think, I need to do stuff. But it does make audio balancing a little tricky, because I'm looking at it, and it's like, that's a 50% difference. So, well. Yeah, so hopefully I'm clear enough there. I might bump the game up just a hair more. And as y'all are seeing, I am, this game does the typical Unity thing, where it's got full screen and it's got windowed. And the full screen is like sorta, kinda like a borderless window, but not really. What that means practically is you can't have the game running and be doing stuff elsewhere unless you want the chrome of the window there, which is really annoying. I really wish there was a third option that I could select to be like, alright, I know that I can get my mouse off of this, but that's on purpose. Let me choose that. It is what it is. So I'll just have a little extra editing every time I upload the video to YouTube to, like, you know, snip off my desktop at the very beginning. Whatever, not a big deal. Minor technical note, I did have to do a little bit of finagling here in order to make this render at the right resolution. Let me know if it seems a little weird to you guys. The game, as it comes, has some confusion about its DPI, so I had to do a little bit of finagling down in the Windows settings, but I think I've got it sorted, so yeah. Without further ado, let's get playing. Normal, sure. I'm no messes. Given that this is voice, I feel a little weird about reading the dialogue. Or monologue. The narration. I'd be really interested to know if this scene, is it a camera following a feather the whole way, or is it trees that have been animated to go past the feather that's just sitting there? Also, super interesting to note how the game starts you off playing like this tremendously unagile character. You play not yourself for the beginning of this game, which, you know, lots of games have done. It's something that I would be really nervous as a developer to do. And that's some guts. Because some people really will bounce off a game immediately. When Nara embraced my light. As a child of her own. I'm not feeling reading the dialogue to you guys. The spacing is so enormous that it feels unnatural coming from an actual human. It's super cute the way that we've got this children's drawing here. I'm trying to figure out how many layers are here. Hold on. I kind of think all three plants are separate, but it's really hard to tell because it also looks like a distortion mesh. So, like, all right, let's talk about this. In the foreground, we've got this silhouette stuff, right? And so we can see some plants that are like animating in and out this way. And then there's another layer of silhouette that's not as animated, and the two are overlapping. And so we can tell that's a distinction. There's probably a whole mesh that's in front of the screen that the front layer of silhouettes are animated on. And so it's not like individual plants in the foreground. It's just a big texture that's getting rippled a bit. Like, see how like all of the leaves there are like all twisting in sync with each other? Probably just one big texture. But they've layered it up so that your eye doesn't really catch on that. And it's sort of like, you know, it works. And the plants in the background, these ones that are lit up, those are interesting to me because they're moving and they could almost all be one mesh, but there's like one spot where they don't quite, it looks like one moves independent of the other. And this is the kind of thing that only I would like pay attention to, much less like stop the whole stream to look at. But yeah, interesting. A game like this, one that's 2.5D, there's so much interesting layering stuff with this. Like, this part is like true 2D for the most part. But like Naru here, Naru's an actual like 3D model. Like you can see when she turns, like that's actually a fully 3D thing. But the tree behind us, I'm pretty sure is a 2D painting. I'm pretty sure that's just a plane, and the leaves on the tree are just layers of leaves. Yeah, okay, and here we go again. This game's mixing 2D and 3D here. The water surface is actually 3D, moving into the foreground and the background. But this bridge that we're building, it's interacting with the water, is 2D. It's a plane. It's a bunch of sprites layered up on top of each other. What's up, Sig? Yeah, this game is beautiful. Though, Sig, if you and Grips are watching, just a heads up, this first 5 minutes hits like a truck. So I will totally understand if you want to go, like, grab a soda or something. Almost fate for the night. Like, I'm getting, like, emotional just knowing what's about to happen. Transition here where they're switching out the paintings for steadily more deprived variants. The plants in the background wilting, the plants in the foreground wilting, the baskets becoming empty. And here us getting to play Naru again, but the animations are super different. Like, look at how her walk, she's like super hunched forward and stuff. Oof. This opening, they must have iterated on this so much. There's so much work being shown here in a no amount of time. Super interesting the way that they like give you control, but only for like 3 seconds, and then the rest of this has been, you know, an animation. And now I'm back in control. And like again, like we've only been playing for like 10 minutes, most of which was me like rambling about layers. Like we've really only been playing for 5 minutes, and like they're already doing like flashbacks and stuff. Also, if you looked closely, we did see another character moving there in the foreground, which is cool. Man, though, this is such a masterpiece of you're gonna have feelings. Like this is right up there with like Up to me. We're just like, hey, 5 minutes in, get ready to cry. Hard to do commentary when that's it. And again, we're getting really good animation work here, where like Ori's walking animation here, when I do it, like again, same body language, same like, you know, starvation, exhaustion, sadness. We're also getting like a bunch of bespoke little animations here that are triggering as I move through the scene. Super complicated to pull this stuff like this off. Super complicated. And like, so let's talk actually as we move through this. Like, Ori is threading the needle with these thorns, right? But like, as a developer, in order to pull that off, you also pretty much literally have to thread the needle with getting the assets to go through the way that you need to. And that's complicated in this game, especially because Ori glows. Like, Ori here literally emits light, and you can see that brightening up the stuff behind Ori. And so it means that you don't get as much flexibility with your Z positioning. You can't just have some stuff like stupid close to the camera, but because of the forced perspective, it looks correct. It has to actually be pretty correct. Otherwise, the sphere of the light would not interact with it correctly. Technical notes to make myself not cry on camera. That's me. So from a lore perspective, this is a super interesting little scene. Like, did Ori die? Like, is this whole thing kind of a resurrection story? Like, there's a bunch of ways that you could read this, and I'm sure that someone's figured out like the proper lore explanation. But this game does kind of like set you up to think that one thing's happening and something else is happening. Alright. Be really interested to know that little trophy I got. I'm not gonna look it up right now, but how many people don't even make it to that? Because games like this, a lot of people will bounce shockingly quickly. And now we're in the game proper. We got our normal movement controller. We can jump a little bit, or we can jump a lot. A lot. Ori, unlike Hollow Knight, is a momentum-based system. So the speed, if I jump to the side, I go a certain distance. If I run and jump to the side, I will go a different distance. And there is, like in Hollow Knight, if you jump and you hit the control stick going the opposite way, you'll like immediately change direction. There's not much momentum at all. This game, you've got a lot of momentum, and that means that like you can't like start a jump and then change your mind. Like, you pretty much have to commit to it every time, which some people don't like. I have kind of mixed feelings about it. Yay, energy cell. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. I personally prefer the Hollow Knight style. But there are benefits to this, like, you know, much the way that Hollow Knight has to like provide some negatives in order to make stuff land. Hey, ability point. Now we gotta get Nami. Again, we're sort of getting the worst of both worlds, where I've not technically played this, but I am spoiled on what characters are, what plot points are. My strength is returning. I am sane, the light and eyes of the spirit tree. I was lost in this glen when she loosened her grip. I can guide you on your journey if you allow me to come. But still, can you hear that? They must have followed you here. So here's like the big difference between this game and Hollow Knight, which got changed a lot in the sequel to this one, like, your attacks are not like swing sword forwards. They are do attack in some direction. The game will pick which direction that's gonna be, which is super interesting. Their light shall return to me. These words the spirit tree once said. In the glade past the caverns, we'll find them. There's a path up ahead. I didn't remember her rhyming. So, alright. As is often the case with these games, there's so much technical detail to talk about. We get a painted-in style map, which is to say the world is kind of fog of war, right? The map is a big 2D image. It's usually not a 2D image, it's a bunch of 2D images, but regardless, effectively it's a big 2D image, big canvas, and over top of it is a big black texture, and we're essentially, as we move through the world, taking an eraser to that black texture, very much like the eraser you would see in Photoshop. It's often very low resolution. The black texture is usually, for a game like this, it's going to be like 256 by 256 pixels. Like, it's not very high resolution, though some games go much higher resolution with it. Kind of depends. But we can see, like, right here, zoom in, like, we haven't been down in that water, so the bottom of that has not been erased out. We haven't been up to the top of this room, so the top of it's a little darker. There's enough resolution happening on the black texture that we can get a really clear idea of where we've been. And that'll be clearer once I run over. Yep. Yes. Ability tree. So, alright. Again, this is a super interesting thing. We'll talk more about this in a little bit. That's a really useful one, but I'm going to do magnet to start off. And again, I'd be super interested to see like what the fall off is for fall off is for those achievements. Hey, ability point. I don't recall. Can I? Yeah, I totally can. Nice. So this is a, all right, so we'll go ahead and talk about the tree right now. So this is a super interesting ability tree in that it's quite simple. It is 3 linear lines. A lot of ability trees are simpler than they want you to realize. Like if you look at Final Fantasy X, it has the sphere grid, which looks way more complicated than this. But if you untangle the sphere grid's presentation, it's actually not too different from this. Now this one doesn't have like +4 strength, +4 power, +4 defense. So like this is a much simpler grid just in terms of total number of nodes. But like this one having absolutely no crossover and no branching, the only choice that you're making is which branch am I going to follow and what am I working towards? That's interesting. Mapping more life, which is a little interesting that that's in this tree. So this is kind of like the magnet and map tree. This is the save point and some mobility stuff tree. And this is the combat tree. So we'll start I've got magnet. I kind of want better magnet. So we're gonna go for that one. That feels like ouchies. Maybe not. Okay. Can actually do that. Great. I am already wildly regretting my decision not to grab that power up. Got our first key. The first combat ability. seems real useful. So we need keystones. Yep. Oh, shit. Keystones. Click. And we're off to the races. Ooh. Oh no, I'm so foolish. So here's one of the things that I've heard other people complain about this game. And it, again, like, this sort of gets into the Hollow Knight thing where, like, you need stakes, but also the stakes can be kind of hurt. This game, like, you die, you go back to your last checkpoint, and sometimes if you've been playing aggressively or you've been low on energy, that could be a while ago. So, and then that problem is really exacerbated by this. This game doesn't do any considerations for, hey, your last checkpoint might have, you might have seen this cutscene, read this dialogue before. Too bad, that was before the cutscene, so you're going to see it again. Okay, took some damage there that I really not thrilled about. Right there, that's what I was talking about, where the game decides where the attacks are going to go. So I was trying to attack something to my left, and something underneath me was grabbing my attack. Weird that he jumped there. So, alright, let's look at our map. Yeah, so we can see how we're painting in, and it's a pretty decent sized brush that we're painting with. I'd be interested to know if it's a particular shape, because it kind of looks like it's a circle, but also I could be easily convinced that it's not a circle. But we can see right here where I went across and then down, and on this version of time I didn't go through this little bit here that's right now in the middle of the screen. So yeah, I need to go that thing. Abilities for this right now, I don't think. Yep, it really was. It's interesting just finding XP around the world. I like it, personally. I think it's a cool way to reward exploration, but I get that some people probably don't like it. Also, that right there where you level up and that like causes an explosion in the world, I think that's cool. I get that it's not for everyone. That caused 2 damage to me? That's interesting. Alright. More life seems real useful to someone who plays like I do. Those that were turned to hope. When she ravaged and killed. The light of the spirit tree lives in all of us. He is the reason we're alive. He's the reason we grew. When he called out to you many years past, we were attacked, wounded, and killed by our foe. Now these ancestral trees are all that's left behind. Come closer now and feel the light of Finley, the spirit inside. Note of interest, as we approached there, they did really tighten down our walk speed, and now it's back. But just as we were approaching this little cutscene, they tried to give us some gravitas by changing the speed at which our character controls. Just interesting. Wall jump. To use this ability, press that. Go to wall and press A continuously to leap upwards. Energy cell, super useful. And if we look at our map, we can see, hey, we haven't quite gotten to the ceiling. You can't jump that high. That's not what I want to do. Interesting the way that this game has enemies just slammed to the ground. Speedrunners have a particular timing they go for with that. The fact that the enemies respond so quickly, they get off camera and they come back, is interesting. It feels maybe more aggressive than this game should have done, but it is what it is. Right now we're kind of just exploring this area out in order to collect some of those keys. I think I've just got one right now. Ori, this is a mapstone, one of the many ancient markers created to chart the forest of Nibel as it grew. Nibel? I'm gonna go with Nibel. There's a piece missing. If we find the mapstone fragment, we might be able to repair it. Well, good news, we did! Get a preview of the map that we haven't seen before. This is interesting. Not a lot of games will do stuff like this, which I think is a shame. I think this is a good system. it's a relatively easy to implement system, I should say. You essentially just define out, hey, here's this map stone. It is going to paint these pixels, and you usually define that by just a texture. And so then when you load up the save file, you can just say, all right, load up the player's texture, which is erasing the mask, and blend in these other textures that they have flagged on that they have found. Not that complicated a loop. And it, it's easy to look at, so. I do want that, which, interestingly, the map doesn't indicate that we've seen. The map might be lying a little bit about the proportions of this. You would think that stuff like maps like this would be like here's your world coordinates, translate them directly into map coordinates. Turns out often, no, you don't actually want to do that. It is really easy for that to cause you all sorts of problems, so it's better to have some functionality in place that sort of like massages the numbers. Considering, now that I've got that... No, we the thing that I was wondering about was how much state is recorded when we set down our soul link. Hey, Mr. O-Dubs, how's it going? Ori's treating me good. Just started up. I've seen some people play this before, so I kind of know what's coming, which is maybe a little bit lame that my first play is not a blind play, especially given the name of the game. But, it is what it is. Yeah, I know, right? Like, you would think that I, of all people, would have played this before, but somehow. I think that they've maybe been a little bit slow to put it on sale, which is fair. And I'm just such a skinflint that I haven't gotten it before now. Yeah, it is definitely right up my alley, so... I've actually got my work music, the soundtrack to this game is in the mix, so I'm intimately familiar with the soundscape of this game. One song they found me, dormant and still. We told Ori the tale of her misguided will. But yeah, this is on sale right now, and Keller had asked me to play it, so sure. Ori, the spirit tree. He must have used the last of his strength to save you. Come now and we hear our story. It was the night of the light ceremony. It was our light that she hated. I called out to Ori, but my child never came. Guro is an interesting choice of name. I don't think it's a reference to the Japanese word kurosuke, which means black thing, but it might. You received the spirit tree's light. You put our fate in your hands. Listen carefully now, for you must understand. She is rhyming. She's like the tree. Also, we should talk about this world map. The spirit tree sustained the 3 elements of light, and in turn, they brought balance and kept Nibel safe. The element of waters high atop the Ginso tree. The element of winds deep within the forlorn ruins. The element of warmth beneath Mount Horg. To restore Nibel to its former self, we must rekindle their light before it's too late. The first we will find beyond the spider coves, atop the tree where the waters once flowed. Slant rhyme at best there, sign. So, Thornfelt Swamp, and if we zoom out, we actually are not that far from it. We're right here. We just need to run over there. But let's talk about this world map for a second. So it is divided into regions. We can only focus on regions that we've been to. So we've been to Sunken Glades. We've been to Hollow Grove. We're unable to look at anything other than that little bit of Thornfelt Swamp, which we count as having seen because they revealed our destination there. When we zoom in, technically we've exposed 1% of the map. This map's interesting because it is 2D paintings arranged in a plane angled away from the player that gives you like that sort of like top-down sorta, almost a miniature sort of vibe going on. And then they layer in these particle effects to highlight whichever one you're looking at, and those are all colored according to the thing. And you can sorta, if you squint, see how the world map looks like the areas, but you really have to squint for it. So this is more of like a big picture vibes kind of map. And this is your more gamey, more practical, hey, here's the ant colony. We were decently thorough on our pass here. We could have done more. But we didn't need to. And I don't think we even could have done a lot of it because we just didn't have the abilities for it. So, in our case now, we just need to go right. New objective, find the Ginso tree. It's interesting that in this game, it is like a do this one first. Hollow Grove, Valley of the Wind. That is not how a Metroidvania would typically do. We do need to go down there, though. Well, I say a Metroidvania wouldn't typically do it that way. A lot of Metroidvanias would, like the ones that are less willing to let things go weird. Coming fresh off of Rebel Transmute, which was allergic to giving the player what, I do think I need the charge ability to open that. It's really it's really something to come into a game that's relatively speaking quite linear. Yay. Super interesting that the lamps like count as enemies, I guess. Alright. Give me that ability. What's up, Nam? Thanks for lurking. Appreciate it. We've learned Jade Charge Flame. To use this ability, hold X to charge, then release X to detonate and damage everything in proximity. Alright, I want the Ultra Magnet, but honestly, I want the Quick Flame more. Up my juice, which is annoying. That. Taking hits on hits on hits. 5-7. I don't think I can make that jump, which is fine. Is there anything? I think I'm basically maxed out on what I can do here without some mobility options. There's something down there, which I think is the spider area. Blackroot burrows. I don't know that I want to go there just yet. In the future. For now, we'll keep on the critical path. I want that big magnet, though. I do love how Ori will do like front flips and shit. Second one there, okay. Now, of the playthroughs that I've seen, a decent number of people do get confused right here. Like, they get a little befuddled by what the game is asking them to do. I'm real glad that I saved there. For that. But like this, it's not intuitive that this is a climbable surface. Nor is it intuitive that you can climb through these platforms right here. This does not look like a permeable platform. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, players experiment and they figure it out. Or they don't and never play the game. Either way. That we needed. Man, we're just racking up. Can I make that jump? Oof, I can, but at what cost? Worth it. feeling the desire for the ability to... Shit. Is that gonna... Yeah, it did. Oof. That's painful. A lot of people don't like that specific thing in particular. We did that time around. Oop, I spoke too soon. Spoke way too soon. Fuck. Getting back out is harder than getting in. There we go. See, it feels a little inconsistent, a little floaty with the speed at which we move. Not ideal. I was wondering if that thing would respawn. I bet there's one up top, though. If I remember correctly, there's one up top. Alright, so now I think I can run over here, use this to access this, and now we can save. Beautiful. Also, this is a fairly rough opening for people with arachnophobia. Like, I do not have arachnophobia, but boy, I feel bad for anyone who does. And they're like, oh, look at this cute game. I am 30 minutes into it, and spiders everywhere. Shit. Don't have a map. Can I actually make that from here? I don't think I can. I'm going off of the intended path at this point. I feel like I remember watching this part and having kind of a bad time. Or maybe it was Quinn. Pirate software on here? No, I'm unfamiliar. Give me the lowdown. Yeah, I'm 80 to 90% sure that I'm not supposed to be going that way, so. He's an indie dev that streams his development time, gives a ton of advice to those trying to break into game development. That's cool. I'll have to check him out. If you want to drop his username down in here, please do. Forgetting that the enemies come back so quickly. Cool deal. I'll have to check them out. Thanks, Warren. Oh, is that heading for 2? Okay, that's why. So something that this game could do maybe a little bit more is differentiate between hits for 1 of your health and hits for 2 of your health, or like screen shake or flash or something. I want this ultra magnet because of that. It's in there. Go more of the world. correctly? Yeah, none of this. Oof. Trying to do a quick heal the same way that Rebel Transmute had me doing, while Ori brought light and hope to the forest. Others gave in, embracing darkness and fear. Man, it just super good animation there to show like the weight of that sphere versus Gummo is his name, I think. Gummon. A Gummon from the Forlorn Ruins. We must follow his steps. We must get what he stole. New objective. Yep, so we've made it to the swamp. And we now need to go elsewhere. It doesn't actually like mark on our map where he went, so fair. Oh yeah, that side was locked. Yeah. I was curious as to whether I needed to dodge those or not, and the answer is a definitive yes. I do. That. Not ideal, but passable. saved right as I had very little health. That was probably the expected I mean. See, yeah, this in this game. Welcome back. The fact that the game doesn't remember what cutscenes you've seen, it's just annoying. Like that, to my mind, that's just bad game design. Almost made it. just saved. We're gonna drop another one because I don't feel like doing that one again. Nam, how's potato? How are things? Alright, let's watch this cutscene again. She's good, only napped 20 minutes today, so hopefully that means an early bedtime. We love early bedtimes. This game is nice. It's got some floatiness to the controls that I don't love. And some game design decisions that I just don't agree with. Like the way that the saving works is it's very hard-nosed about like, well, you died and this thing happened between when you died and when you last saved, so you're gonna see it again. I was like, that's not. But otherwise, very nice game. Very pretty. Wait, can I do that? I can't do that. Nice. There's a lot of, stuff to explore, stuff to look at, stuff to do. The art is obviously quite gorgeous. What do we think, chat? Is that water gonna kill me? No, but close. Shit. Yep, that's death. Why my little one naps for 20 minutes? She's in for the last couple hours. I picked her up to move her bed, and she flinched as I lifted her. She's a hellion at bedtime anyways. Let's try and do this a little bit right here. Alright, well, we both died for that one. I know where the game wants me to go, I just don't want to. Alright. Gummo's hideout, here we go. Don't have a thingy. This. We'll go sideways to start. Hoping to program a few more things on your bot. Nice. What you got in mind? If you don't mind me asking. Let's make some decisions about what we want. Energy pickups reward 50% more energy. That takes 2 points though, so probably not. Yeah, I think we might be good on this tree for now. Creating a soul link restores 1 life cell. That would be nice, but that's not critical. Halves the cost of charge flame. Okay. O-dubs. She's been playing Final Fantasy X lately. Hold on. Let me... Can I... Nope. Well, okay. Nam, me and Oren are long time... me and O-dubs are long time Final Fantasy X fans. Like... high school kind of long time Final Fantasy X fans. So... I don't know if this even works. Yeah, it requires that I have double jump. And this one requires that I have charge flame, which I don't think. Let's do this one. More attack power feels like a smart move. The greater Nath Kakalaki area. Alright, save, because that felt a little... See, I feel like I should be able to make that jump. Not quite getting to it. I feel certain that I should be able to do this jump. Kane's country. Oh shit, nope. Fuck. I looked at that and I was like, I should probably make a save because I don't want to run through this again. I was like, nah, I'll save my gems or my spirit energy or whatever. Mistake. Nope, Ori climbed the... One of the problems with momentum-based platforming stuff is that it's really easy to get frustrated at your character for moving the way that they are programmed to move. Yeah, so I'm right at the point of X where we got Yuna back, but just before the laugh scene. Ha 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 ha. Figured that'd be a good place to start the next stream. Hell yeah. I really love that section. Me and High Road Like, it's just such a good, like the vibes of that place are immaculate. It feels so like, hey, the world's really like opening up. We can do stuff. Here, actually, all right. Sorry, YouTube. We're taking a quick detour. Have you ever heard of noclip.website? Noclip.website. Not sponsored. Nothing. I just get really excited about this. Noclip.website is a website where you can look at the levels of old games. There's a pretty limited selection of them, but Final Fantasy X is one of them. And so we can load up, like, this is the opening cutscene area of Final Fantasy X, and we can fly around wherever we want. It's called no clip because nothing clips into us. We can, take the camera anywhere we want and look at it. And it's, for someone like me who's a big nerd about how levels are put together, it's super fun to like look at how this all works and like fly over here and be like, hey, wait a minute, these buildings in the distance are just billboards. Like they're not actually distant at all. They're just tiny and flat. All of these, ruins and stuff, they look great from the perspective that the camera shows us, but if you fly around to the other side, the PlayStation 2 had so little memory to work with that they don't even have backsides. And the Final Fantasy X levels are full of super cool stuff like that. You've played 10, right? You know what you're gonna see with like the Mi'ihen High Road and stuff. Okay, yeah, cool. I didn't want to spoil anything. So like we can drill down and find and like look at the Mi'ihen High Road as the level is actually put together, and it's like super interesting because it's just like a hot dog of terrain that doesn't actually go to the horizon at all. When you're on this, it looks fine because you can't see this horizon line. But like the actual terrain just stops, which is fine. Like for the purpose of, I've spent a ton of time flying around on this. And like when you're able to control the camera like this, you can start to notice little oddities like, hey, wait a minute. Why is this turning into a Rorschach? It's because, again, PlayStation 2, super limited memory. They needed to take the textures and flip them that way so as not to load so much into memory. So, yeah, and stuff like, like the map. We can see these clouds here turn 90 degrees. Hey, wait a minute. That's the same clouds. How many suns does this planet have? Yeah, Final Fantasy X is kind of, at least to me, like golden age of like weird level design stuff that's super fun to like dive into, and like why does it work like this? And stuff like no, not this one. Is it this one? Yeah, stuff like you can see some stuff over here, like the camera would let you see to right about there-ish. So they've got some of the dock, but not actually very much of the dock defined over there. It's just super cool stuff. I really like the if you look at the Kilika Forest. Yeah. Early PS2, when they like really were like having to get clever about how things worked in order to like make it fit into RAM. Because remember, the PlayStation 2 had like 24 megabytes of RAM. Like it had nothing to work with. So everything that you loaded in needed to be like super efficient. And like they couldn't actually do reflections. This game has reflections in it, right? Like we're looking at them. We're looking at water and we can see clouds. No. This game just has clouds underneath and above the water, and all this terrain over here where we can see like, oh, there's a nice reflection of the rock wall. No, it's not actually a reflection at all. It's just the same terrain duplicated. Super clever stuff. That's why you've got all these upside down trees over here, because got to do the reflections somehow. Ray tracing is a long way away. So yeah, super cool stuff. Anyways, big tangent aside. Noclip.website. It is super cool. I highly recommend checking it out, flying around. It's a lot of fun. You'll find some cool stuff in there. Back to Ori and the Blind Forest. What the heck was I doing? Oh yeah, I got the keys. That door just needed 2, so we'll run over there. I fucked up. Same mistake twice, like a smart guy. Alright, jump on down. Ori. What the hell was that? The Metroidvania player in me really doesn't trust this wall right here. I watched an interview with the Crash Bandicoot devs where they were talking about overriding strategic part of the PS1 memory for use of Oh boy, that's insane. Overwrite strategic parts of the PS1 system memory to use as extended RAM. Oh. Like, I had a visceral reaction to reading that. I felt parts of my body suck into themselves. See, in this right here, this feels like there should be a secret right here. Give me your secrets. But first, give me double jump. An ancestral tree, Leru, lay here. She was swift, agile, used to cut through the air. Double jump. Surprising to me that in this game, they don't give double jump a different name than double jump. Like, I'm surprised this isn't Leru's Ascent or something like that. Because a lot of games, especially games that use a lot of their own, like, you know, invented words, will give names to the, like Hollow Knight does it, the Monarch Wings. Hollow Knight is really sparing with their invented words. They do it for like the enemy creatures, and that's kind of it. But even Hollow Knight is like, oh, the Monarch Wings. And the guacamole, the rooster uppercut and everything. Hey, Sig, welcome back. Beef curry was delicious. I believe it. Believe it. So this is a fun little, like, game design thing. I don't think that very many people need an explanation for how double jump works. They don't need to be tested on how double jump works. Pretty much everyone who plays video games, if they've gotten to this point in this game, they probably understand. But just to make sure, the devs did take away the little platform there in the middle. By jumping on it and then moving on, it dissolved, it goes away. The only way to get back over that is to use double jump. So you had to prove that you understood, which is game design. There's the Crash Bandicoot in it. Dude, hell yeah. Let me... Grab that. Put it in. Put it in the queue. Perfect. Nope. Nope. I've messed up. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting with Metroidvanias, the order in which you get additional abilities really like speaks to what kind of Metroidvania it will be. This game, you get the double jump pretty early. Like we haven't gotten our first MacGuffin. Like big picture, we've done 30% of that, 68% of that, 40%, about 30%. So we've done at most a third of the game, right? And we've already got double jump, whereas Hollow Knight, you get the Monarch Wings like pretty dang deep into that game. You've gotten very far into the world of Hallownest before you get a double jump. So Hollow Knight, you know, more combat focused, but also like the flip side is Hollow Knight gives you the dash really early. So Hollow Knight, much more horizontal, much more combat focused. Nope, leave me alone. Gosh, we needed that badly. This. Not to derail, I've been meaning to ask, what is your desktop background? It looks like a column of text. Maybe it is a column of text. This is my first novel arranged into each chapter is a column of text, and that's just the full text of it, all 90-some thousand words. I honestly don't remember exactly how long it is, but yeah, first novel. I've been using it as a background for kind of everything just because I think it looks cool ever since. That book, I wrote that. Oh shit, nope, don't like that. Ooh. Okay, can't make that jump. I wrote it for NaNoWriMo back in like 2010, I want to say. Honestly don't remember. I'm super bad at remembering stuff like this. Got it published on Amazon and all that stuff. City Skylines. I feel like that's a pretty fair guess. Oh man, okay, so something that Hollow Knight does, and Red Will Transmute does, that I wish this game would do. I'm trying to use the stick, the C stick, to like look down. I can crouch, and that works, but it's slower. Just wanted to look down and see what's coming up. Oof. This feels like a trap. I can drop down. Never mind, not a trap. Unless you're an idiot. Okay. There's this thing MacGuffin. Maybe an audio meter thing. That's a pretty fair guess as well. I'm not much of an audio guy. I feel bad. But like, I don't have much of an ear for audio. Alright, I feel like I am in trouble though here. Yeah, I need to come around the other way. Which means I need juice. Also, I'm just now noticing the bats. Have there been bats in the background this whole time? Yeah, look above me here. Like bats. Freaking bats. Ability cell. Oh shit. You're kidding me. I'm annoyed by that one. Yeah, see it did its little wings. This is one of the problems with this particular save system, is that it's really easy to get yourself in a tight spot. I bet the backgrounds are full of stuff that people don't usually notice. God damn it. Push this over. Don't. Keep that XP. We're actually gonna go back and save again, even though we really shouldn't. Before we do this again, because I don't want to do it again. The eyeball in the background? Yeah, that... I can understand why. Alright, we're gonna do this, because I kind of want that health. Of course, now we're in the situation where I don't think we can open that door without having full juice, so we need to go get juice. Cool. I ordered boba tea with my dinner delivery and they failed to bring me a straw. Oof. Shame. Not really a boba guy. Nothing against it. It just, I don't know, not really been for me. Interesting that they took control away from me to have Ori run up to him like that. Look. I do feel like these little pillars could be maybe a little clearer. Improves the radius and damage of the charge flame. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm using it a lot. I like the milk tea more than the actual boba, to be honest. Fair. Nope. still need to be able to get over here with... How many pips does this require, actually? Hold on. This takes 4. I can't even do this in the first place. Come back for it. I can chat again. I was eating crab legs. Didn't want to get any on my phone. Man, I haven't had crab legs in a hot minute. That is super cool. Yeah, it is super cool. Homemade crab legs? Yeah. Hold on, let's... Apparently I'm leaving stuff on the table over here. I'm very much leaving stuff on the table over here. Goodness gracious, I'm embarrassed. Well, though. Alright, so we got that. We know that there's a green thing there, but I don't know that we can actually make that jump. Yeah, we need the other upgrade, which if we had been focusing on that, we probably could have it by now, but god damn you. Almost had it. There we go. Gosh, I'm just like plowing face first into so many spikes. Yeah, they were on sale last week for $7 a pound. Nice. It's a very good price. Normally $10.99 a pound. Nice. We love a good deal because we are millennials and broke. Come on, this is kind of on you, man. A lot of these pain points are on me. I am bad. Yeah. Sorry, Ori. No friend today. I love that he was like struggling to like moving around and so heavy and everything, and we're just like, cool. Remember, the element of waters rests high above top the Kinso tree. We shall bring back the waters. Let us return immediately. Ta-da! I need to go up there. Alright, there is a thingy here that we could do. I did not mean to do that. Right. Yeah, we've been here. back in the same situation as before. Okay, but at least this... Alright, so props to this game. It did drop a silent save point right there, which is good. And I feel like I ought to be able to do this no problem, but... Fun playing video games. Why are you playing them? This is dumb on my part. Oh! Again, dumb on my part. Ah, here we go. Alright. Full juice, full health. For a moment. A brief, glorious moment. Whole mess of things that I'm like, I can do this, and then I look at it and I'm like, man, it feels hard. Shitting me. That is like my least favorite kind of thing, where a game's like, here's a thing, you're just gonna die to it, reset. It's always like my big beef with Rayman Legends, is you would just die to stuff and have to restart a section. Boy, I'm really making a dog's breakfast of this. Got into Rayman Legends. Like, it's a good game, but boy, it had a lot of decisions in it that frustrated me. I think it might actually have some of the same developers as this game. I might be totally wrong about that, but I feel like I remember that from something. Still poison. So that was a mistake. Rayman Legends had really cool synesthesia levels where like you would do stuff to the time of a beat. Playing like a song that you would recognize, which is cool, but it was also a really good way to end up hating the first minute of that song because you heard it so many times. Hell yeah. Extra energy orb. Love that. Alright, we need to get to this save just immediately because I'm going to get myself killed for some stupid reason. One upside of the whole reset to your last save thing is that it does simplify for them where have you effectively been, because like right here I have been into this section right here, but effectively I haven't because I died and time rewound. So, in terms of exploration that I've done that actually counts, I haven't. So, I need to not have that shown in the map. So, that's neat, I think. Abilities? I don't think I can. That kind of sucks. Dude just exploded. Stuff up above, probably. And of course, there's the Ginso tree itself, which we definitely can do. That's where the game's telling us to go, but. Okay, we need 2 ability points for that. That feels worth the investment. Back to some of the early parts of the game. Well, not early. Earlier. Fuck me. No, never mind. No, I won't. wild how quickly you go through your health in this game. Alright, we're gonna save here. I guess I say it's wild how quickly you go through health in this game. It's wild how quickly I go through health in this game. I realize mostly this is a me problem. There, bit of there, yeah. I want that blue. I want that green. To aim them? No, you actually can't aim them, which, in my opinion, is a little bit of a problem. Sometimes you're playing and you're like, all right, I want to deal with this guy to my left, and your projectiles are just like, but what about the guy to the right? And you're like, what about him, man? You got bigger priorities. Yeah, like, most of the time, it's a good thing that you don't have to deal with it. But every once in a while, you're like, I really wish you hadn't shot at that particular dude. Oh man, that would have been real easy to get and real convenient a while ago. Yeah, not being able to influence the enemy priority, in my opinion, can be a little bit of a problem. Actually, there is something up there that we could go ahead and update now. I'm way away from where the game wants me to be, but that's okay. Nice. Wow. Whole new ability point right there. You know what? Let's waste it. Like a smart guy. God damn me. There we go. That guy kind of slipped by me. Alright, so now I can get this. We are now more mobile. Do we know how to dash? Okay, well that's slightly unfortunate. We unlocked that ability because I wanted the maneuverability for just making some of these puzzles easier. And that was kind of a waste because we don't actually have the dash ability yet. And so we spent those 2 points for kind of no benefit. Like, obviously we unlocked more stuff here in the chain. That'll be useful eventually. And once we get dash, this will, you know, immediately be open to us. But we can't just use dash immediately, which sucks because the game's assuming that you will have already gotten it by the time you get to here in the level up system. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but that's okay. That's really on me for trying to sequence break, I guess. Alright. I was kind of expecting to be able to punch through this, but that's clearly not what that does. I guess probably that's going to open in response to us opening the game. I don't know. I haven't played this game before, so there's probably all sorts of stuff that I'm just like wrong about. What? Alright. So, what was happening there, just to excuse myself a little bit, you bounce higher on those things if you press and hold jump when you bounce on them. But in my case, I've got double jump now, and so I was double jumping right before I hit them, which was making them useless. So that's a slightly annoying wrinkle, which is really just down to me having bad timing. But I do have bad timing. Alright. We're where the game wants us to be. I thought that we were doing a cutscene thing. No, I was just stuck on that little bit of platform there. Alright, we made it to the Ginso tree. Let's save here. The waters of Nibel once flowed through this very tree. Now it's all rotted and dried up. We shall restore the flow, and the Ginso's tree heart we must find. Let's save here. And you know what? I am curious. So, achievements. Yeah, so that first one that we got, find your first secret, 12% of players had already dropped off by there. Use your first ability point, which the game basically just hands to you. 86, like, so already nearly, you know, an eighth of all players. Complete the prologue. 80%, a fifth of all players don't even make it to there. Restore your first map stone. A quarter of players, like, that's quite a steep drop off. Now, to be clear, this game actually has much better drop off than most games. Most games, you'll see like that first like gimme achievement will have like freaking 60-some% on there. Like a lot of people will load up the game and immediately turn it off. Like they'll install it and something will be wrong and they just won't fuck with it, or whatever. But yeah, it's crazy to see this kind of drop off and be like, oh, this is pretty good. Break open 5 shortcuts has already dropped down to 60. In this 1 2-hour play session, we have done as much as half of the player base. So, pretty crazy. Yeah, Sig, I highly recommend, like, look at Steam global achievements and just sort of, like, compare and contrast. You'll be really surprised. So... So here's the thing, like, a big part of stuff like this is that it's a really... Developers don't agree about what achievements should be for. So, like, this game is sort of a mix where enter the Ginso tree, like, that's a story beat that in order to beat the game, you have to do, right? But also, we got one... right here. Crush a Wrath with a Stomper. Like, that's like an oddity, an interesting thing. Players doing, like, different, like, weird stuff, and some developers like to reward that. They make their achievements not about stuff that all players are going to do, but about stuff that few players will do. So different mindsets. And then also you'll have stuff like, let's see, complete the game on 1 life difficulty. Like 1% of the player base has done that, where they're not interested. They want to go for the ultimate challenge, which is something I'm not interested in, but some developers are, some players are, so achievements are good for that. But yeah, like, a lot of games will have a gimme achievement at the beginning, and that sort of gives you a metric, a public metric that you can look at to be like, okay, decent chunk of people loaded this up and immediately bounced right off of it. As a point of comparison, if we look at Warframe's achievements, only 64% of the player base has solved a cipher, which you have to do in like the opening mission of the game. So freaking a third of people who load up Warframe immediately turn around and go, nope, don't like this. This looks weird. So minute to second still first Warframe reference. That's a good idea. We should do that. So anyways, let's call this YouTube recording Dunsky. Thanks everyone who's watching on YouTube. Appreciate y'all. And I'll see you in the next video.